This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Haley Wilkes is on assignment. Tonight's top story, the next superintendent of Sarasota County Schools. Just minutes ago, the school board making its final decision on who will be in charge. It's an internal candidate helping oversee some 52 schools, more than 42,000 students and 5,000 employees. 3 finalists were in the running for this job, and ABC7's Ray Collins joins us now live with the school board's decision. Ray?
Yeah, Scott, good afternoon. It began with 49 candidates months ago, whittled down to just 3 in the past week or so. And today, by a 5-0 vote, the school board voted for Dr. Todd Bowden. He heads up the VOTEC program here in Sarasota County, a 5-0 vote. The 2 other candidates, as you'll see on your screen, from Monroe County, Mark Porter, he is the superintendent right now in the Keys, and also Brennan Asplin from St. John's. I talked to the school board chairperson after the vote about Bowden.
The board kind of wanted to go with a local candidate, and that swayed them. And of course, he's done a wonderful job with our CTE program and our career tech, and has been working with the Alta Vista program. So we'll pull them together and we'll go forward.
Now that is the school board chairperson who, in that case, was talking about Todd Bowden. But 15 minutes earlier, she was the one of the 5 members who actually was heading toward the candidate from St. Augustine, Brennan Asplin. She thought he had more early education experience, and the vote was basically 4-1, but she changed it to 5-0 to appear united, not unusual among commissions. So the final vote was 5-0. Even though the woman you just heard from was actually more in favor of Brennan Asplin. We were there when she made the phone call to Todd Bowden. We'll have that phone call next hour at 6. For now, at the school board, Ray Collins, back to you in the studio.
All right, Ray, thank you so much. It will still be a while before Sarasota school board members make any decisions on 2 controversial issues: transgender bathroom policies and changes to the school calendar. The board is considering implementing a district-wide policy allowing transgender students to use the bathroom of the gender with which they identify with. Today, the board heard from its lawyer on national trends, including 4 federal court cases and recent lawsuits filed on this very issue. But with 1 case pending in the U.S. Supreme Court, board members are now waiting for that decision to guide their policies. And when it comes to the school calendar, board members learned Sarasota County was one of only 3 districts in the state that started later than other districts this year. The board will consider starting school on August 14th next year and have the semester end before the winter break.
Why they want to move it a week earlier and how it impacts the students, especially the ones that are graduating mid-year, because their transcripts are not ready for college. When they can attend college in January, their transcripts will not be ready unless they take the tests prior to the holidays.
While no decisions were made in today's workshop, the issues will likely be discussed again next month. New details tonight on a crash that damaged a busy bridge and tied up traffic in Sarasota for hours yesterday. A box truck crashed through the railing of the Coon Key Bridge and drove into Sarasota Bay Monday morning. The truck's driver was not seriously hurt but was cited for careless driving. A Sarasota County representative says about 15 gallons of diesel fuel spilled into the water, but it has been cleaned up. Florida Department of Transportation officials say the truck caused between $1,000 and $1,500 in damage. Repairs should be complete by tomorrow, and any needed lane closures for the repair work will likely happen at night. The main gateway to the city of Venice could be getting a makeover if one developer has his way. Venice developer Mike Miller would like to build a condominium next to Fisherman's Wharf. ABC7's Christopher Bradley joins us now live with what could be built there. Christopher?
Well, Scott, this development could be years away, but let's show you why the developer wants to build out here. We're talking about the property just on the other side of the water there. The property has a perfect view of the marina and the Intracoastal Waterway. If developer Mike Miller has anything to say about it, this empty land will turn into a condo building, complete with close access to a restaurant and the marina.
I think it'd really be nice because there needs to be a place where you can have a condo close by the water.
The development is in the very early stages. In fact, the developer hasn't even submitted paperwork to the city of Venice. But it will likely be 32 condo units.
Generally speaking, I would say I'm in favor of it.
Venice Vice Mayor Kit McKeon hasn't seen any plans yet, but he likes the idea of changing up the area because this empty parking lot is the first thing you see when you drive over the US 41 bridge heading into Venice.
The City Council and the Planning Commission, as they're redoing the comprehensive plan, have generally supported upgrading of gateways into the city.
This isn't the first time a developer has wanted to build here. A few years back, the former property owner submitted plans for a condo building. It was approved, but the economy tanked shortly thereafter, and the building was never built.
Senior citizens, they need a place, you know, where they're down on the water, where the rent is reasonable, you know, to suit them.
For William and Shirley Borgamenke, they'd love to live in a condo so perfectly located, but they fear it will only be high-end, expensive condos.
It would suit us if, you know, the rents and everything was reasonable. We would consider it.
Earlier today, we did reach out to the developer Mike Miller, but he has not yet called us back. He did, however, speak to our coverage partners, the Venice Gondolier, and told them this is just a preliminary layout and plan of how the plan would be laid out. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Christopher, thank you. Florida's decade-long streak of dodging hurricanes is over, but the state-created fund that helps private insurers pay out claims after a storm is still in strong financial shape. The COO of the Florida Hurricane Catastrophe Fund says early estimates show the fund will pay out less than $200 million for Hurricane Matthew and only minimal payouts associated with Hurricane Hermine. Today, the fund's advisory council approved new financial estimates that show the fund has roughly $17.5 billion available and could borrow nearly $8 billion more if needed. Good news there, and good news on our weather front today. Pretty nice day on the Suncoast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with more. Bob?
Yeah, I tell you, a very dry day at that. Mid-level atmosphere now showing up very dry. It has been very warm, though. We're looking at northeasterly wind flow. Temperatures topping out in the low 90s today, but at least the humidity was low, right? As far as that goes, currently at the airport, a few fair weather cumulus clouds around. It's 89 now. It was just 91 an hour ago. The dew point is at 65. Winds are out of the east-northeast at 12, and the pressure 29.94 inches. High pressure dominating much of the eastern seaboard right now. That's bringing us that easterly component. And you can see some showers down to our south. That activity mainly very light and pushing off toward the west. There's not much going on here. Maybe a lone shower possible through this evening. But all in all, things are fairly quiet right now. Not too quiet in the tropics. We may have another named storm before long. Otto could be on the way. Conditions are becoming more and more favorable for development. And the forecast, though, good news. It's expected to head off toward the north, then eventually toward the northeast, staying away from the U.S. A direct result of a cold front that's headed our way. We'll talk more about that cold front and what it means for our weekend weather coming up in a few minutes. Scott?
Okay, Bob, thank you. Tonight, you can take part in a live question and answer session with former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. Kissinger will examine America's economic, political, and security relations with China during a town hall. It will feature a live webcast with Kissinger, who will answer questions from a nationwide audience. The town hall is free. It will run from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight at USF Sarasota Manatee's Selby Auditorium. Malcolm Riddell, a former CIA case officer in East Asia Division, will also be there leading the discussion. ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now. And Richard, it was from the start an up day on Wall Street.
And very happy to see it, Scott. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up by 139 points at the high of the day. And if you recall, we were down yesterday and down a little bit on Friday as well. And I thought to myself, so what's the difference between Friday, Monday, and Tuesday? And the real answer is not very much. Some days there simply is no reason why the market did what it did. Yes, there's an election 3 weeks from today. Yes, guess what? Tomorrow night, I understand there's a debate. Everybody's concerned about the Fed, but from day to day, sometimes you just can't explain the movement. But it was an up day, so we'll take it. Let's take a look at the figures, and indeed, they do look pretty darn good. There you see the Dow up 75.5 points, more than 0.4%, closing at 18,161.94. That on volume of 694 million shares. The NASDAQ was the biggest winner of the day, up more than 0.8%, 44 points, closing at 5,243.84. That on volume of 1,717 million shares. And the S&P came right in between them, up 0.6%, more than 13 points at 2,139.60. When I concluded our business report last night, I mentioned that, oh yes, a company by the name of Netflix had announced its earnings after the close, and just maybe the stock will do pretty well tomorrow. Well, once in a while I get it right. Netflix shares were up by more than 19% today. Yes, I said 19%. The reason, not only did the earnings double, but they saw a significant increase in subscriptions in the U.S. and a dramatic increase in subscriptions outside of the U.S., internationally. You put it all together, Scott, and what you see is a company that's literally running on all cylinders, and I don't want to get this wrong, so I'm going to tell you right. The average subscriber watches Netflix 60 hours a month. I'm not sure where they find the time, but that's the number. That's why I wanted to read it, make sure I got it right.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And a company that reinvented itself really after the DVDs thing ended. They went to streaming.
They built the better mousetrap.
Yeah. Also have some news on Harley-Davidson today.
Yeah, some good news there as well. Harley was up over 9%. Two reasons for it. They've got a new engine that apparently is selling very, very well. And also, unfortunately, they cut some jobs, which really helped the company's bottom line. So a mixed picture, but a darn good day for the stock.
All right, Richard, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, fewer fishermen taking advantage of Suncoast waters. What's behind the slow season at the Skyway Fishing Pier? And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back. He'll have your full forecast and peek ahead to the weekend. And then coming up in Health Smart, some daycares are still holding on to an older tradition that could be harmful to kids' health.
Types of timber, cuts of meat, cooking times, temperatures, rubs, seasonings, sauces. You name it, they know it. That's what makes them who they are, Sonny's Pitmasters. And proud of it. Come get some baby back ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. On their own or paired with favorites like jalapeno cheddar hot links or pulled or sliced pork plus 2 sides and bread. Sonny's Barbecue. Local Pitmasters since '68.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
The celebration is heating up and the prices just keep getting better during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the area's largest selection of Jeep Grand Cherokees or get big savings on a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999. Stop by today and drive away in a brand new Jeep Compass for just $15,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation. And everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts. And 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
It's typically one of the most popular fishing spots here on the Suncoast, but lately the Sunshine Skyway Fishing Pier has experienced a slight drop in visitors. ABC7's Rick Adams finds out what's behind the decrease and where things stand now.
I'm here on the Skyway Pier on the southern end of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, where it is an absolutely gorgeous day to be just hanging out like those folks fishing back there. Over the last few weeks, though, this pier has experienced a little bit of a decline in the number of visitors coming here. It stretches for about 2 miles on both sides of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. For the avid fisherman or the casual one, the Skyway Fishing Pier is a place to sit back, relax, and catch some fish 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You're deeper water, you don't have to be out on a boat, and I like this because we can drive right to our spot instead of having to carry our gear a long way.
Shelley Kelson and her husband are like many others. They've waited for a month or so to have the perfect day to fish off the pier. Kevin Kaiser, park manager of the fishing pier, says he doesn't have the exact numbers as to how many fewer people have visited the pier over the last couple of months, but it is a noticeable amount.
We've had 2 hurricanes recently pass through Florida, so tends to have a lot more people stay at home and and hope for wait for the weather to pass. We've had a little bit of red tide in the area, and it's kind of subsided back now. We've got some construction going on the bridge.
Kaiser tells us the brighter days are now back again at the pier. For Lee Carter, he hasn't let recent obstacles stop him from enjoying a little fun in the sun. The pier is a place he's been visiting a few times a week for the last 10 years.
Being an older guy, it's easier on my legs, I can't scamper across boulders anymore. So it's easy to just park next to the water and get out and fish.
Although I didn't get a chance to see anybody catch the so-called big one in my short time here, it was still a lot of fun. Park and pier officials are very confident that the number of visitors will continue to rise now that things are back to normal. Reporting from Manatee County, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Rick, thank you. If it seems a little hotter than normal this year, it's not your imagination. Scientists say last month was the warmest September on record in the United States. That's according to NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies in New York. The institute reporting September 2016's temperature was a razor-thin 0.004 degrees Celsius warmer than September in 2014. That was the previous warmest September. 11 of the past 12 consecutive months dating back to October of last year have set new monthly high temperature records. And we've obviously seen that here on the Suncoast too, Bob.
Yeah, to localize the story, to make it more relevant to here, I'll tell you, we had 2.5 degrees above average just for the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. So that's a lot. And, September was a very warm month here. We'll show you that graphic in a little bit, but a very warm month here. And that fishing pier, Rick, I've been out there many times, done stories on it. People enjoy it out there. They can spend the night out there, do some
nice
fishing
fun
as well. And I know I just talked to Captain Johnny Walker, and he said that the fishing is a little bit slow with this red tide around, although he said that they're thinking things are coming back a little bit. Johnny just talked to him, got off the phone with him. He's saying a little slow out there today, but some of the reefs, nearshore reefs, are doing a little bit better. Van Wezel webcam showing the fair skies for the day and then a few clouds in the afternoon, not many. Temperatures warmed up in the low 90s, above average. The heat is still on, but there's some relief on the way, and the relief will be in the form of a cold front, which will keep a tropical system, possibly even Otto, off into the Atlantic as we move into the weekend. You can see a little bit of shower activity along the east coast, a few more clouds down to our south, and all that pushing off toward the west-southwest. Not much, 1 or 2 lone sprinkles here and there, a possibility through this evening. It's 89 now. It's cooled a couple degrees since the last hour. Winds are out of the east-northeast at 12. The pressure 29.94 inches, and the dew point is at 65. Temperatures around the state. Still pretty warm in Tallahassee at 89 degrees. It's 83 in Orlando, 84 in Miami, 84 in Key West, and 85 degrees in Mayaca City, 89 in Cortez. And the Gulf of Mexico temperature there, 79 degrees, 85 in Arcadia, Wauchula at 84. Well, the satellite imagery showing what's left of Nicole really racing off to the northeast, but this will be our next system, it appears. A pretty good chance of it developing. The National Hurricane Center has bumped this up to an 80% chance of developing over the next 5 days, and a 50% in just the next 2 days. So a reconnaissance aircraft is scheduled to investigate this area as early as Thursday and see if something has indeed developed. Right now, it's got a lot of shear around, but that shear is expected to relax somewhat over the upcoming 48 hours. Now, there is a cold front which will eventually keep that out in toward the east. You can see this on the Futurecast. Well, here's our system developing and moving up the coast there, and then here comes the front. And this front is going to cool us down by Thursday as it pushes all this off to the east. We'll see those winds whip around. Now, the winds will be a little bit brisk on Saturday. It will be a windy day, but at least we won't see much in terms of any heavy rainfall. for the big Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk at the Polo Grounds at Lakewood Ranch. So the east to northeasterly wind flow with the dry air around will be in place, and you can see temperatures in the 40s and 50s currently over the northern Rockies and northern Plains states. Much warmer, though, over the deep south into the 90s, even into Dallas now at 92 degrees. 80 in Cleveland and 83 in St. Louis. Toronto, even at this time, at 77 degrees, which is well above their average for this time of year. Winds will be out of the northeast for boaters tomorrow. 10 knots. Seas will be right around 2 feet with a light chop on the bays and inland water, 79 degrees. UV index will be high at a 9, and the tides upcoming for Sarasota Bay. The next low tide at 8:49 and a high tide at 2:03 in the morning. Another low tide at 10:26. An isolated shower, not out of the question, but not many. 70 for a low, and then for tomorrow, I'll look for morning sunshine followed by a few clouds in the afternoons. Afternoon high near 90. That rain chance at 10%. The extended forecast calling for delightful weather right through the Thursday with warm temperatures tapering off to mid-80s on Thursday and Friday, and then notice Saturday. 80 degrees for a high, below average, and low temperatures on Sunday morning. You may need a jacket, especially inland areas. We could see upper 50s in some places. Scott?
Sounds great. Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. No crashes in the area right now, but we're seeing traffic backed up on Fruitville Road right near US 41. That is the eastbound lanes as you head away from the city of Sarasota. In health news tonight, the number of diabetics with healthy blood sugar levels has declined in recent years. That's according to a study done by Yale University. Researchers analyzed data on 1.5 million adults with diabetes from 2006 to 2013. The proportion of people with A1C levels below 7% declined from 56% to 54%. And the share of people with A1Cs at or above 9% rose by 2%. Now, researchers say it could be because of a big drop in the use of certain diabetes medications after it was revealed one in particular was linked to an increased risk of heart attack, stroke, and congestive heart failure. Although research shows there's no reason for kids to be part of the so-called Clean Plate Club, a study shows many daycares are encouraging it. Studies suggest that when kids experience controlling feeding practices, they can lose their ability to follow their own hunger cues to stop eating when they're full. Over time, children forced to clean their plates may gravitate towards sugary foods and snacks and run the risk of becoming overweight. In a study in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, many daycare employees said they encourage kids to clean their plates and use treats for rewards. For parents, using their smartphones has created quite the conundrum. In a University of Michigan study, many of the participants credited with the devices with allowing them to spend more hours at home with their young children, and even as an escape from the stresses of parenting, a way to stay in touch with friends or play short games. But they felt pressure to stay constantly plugged in and responsive to work emails. The more work emails that popped up, the more parents paid attention to devices instead of their children. Then the more kids acted up to get their parents' attention, the more parents tended to snap at them. Study authors say these findings show we are not as good at multitasking as we think we are. A crime caught on camera could change how you pump gas. Coming up, how two men were able to pull off a theft in just a matter of seconds. Who says police officers don't have dance fever? How one officer's dance moves quickly making him an internet sensation. That story is coming up next.
Download ABC7's free all-new news app at your app store today.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
Bella, siccome un angelo in terra per
Sarasota Opera presents Donizetti's Don Pasquale. 6 performances from October 28th through November 13th. Reserve your tickets at sarasotaopera.org.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Sometimes, when the course is difficult and you might take a step where you could fall, it's important to trust and ask for help. That's one of the most important things we learned at Tidewell's Teen Grief Retreat. On your grief journey, there are going to be difficult parts, but you have to trust in yourself and your support systems and know there are people around who will help you make it through. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
A theft caught on camera may make you think twice about how you pump gas. The Broward County Sheriff's Office releasing this surveillance video from a Chevron gas station showing a man snatching a woman's purse while she was filling up. In the video, you can see 2 men pulling up in the Toyota across from the victim's car. They waited for her to walk over to the keypad to pay for the gas. Then one man crouched down between the cars, opened her door, and took her handbag. The entire incident took just a couple of seconds. Both men were able to get away. The Broward County Sheriff's Office is now offering up to $3,000 for any information that leads to an arrest. Well, it's not the typical color for a U.S. fighter jet, but it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this retired U.S. Navy fighter is helping raise awareness. The Grumman Cougar is on display on the flight deck of USS Lexington in Corpus Christi, Texas. The hot pink paint job is not permanent. Dishwashing soap mixed with latex paint will allow the color to be removed when the month ends. It looks pretty cool, though. And a baby elephant has earned her brave stripes in Thailand by helping in a mock drowning. A man was in the river calling for help and pretending to drown. That's when the little elephant hopped in the water and came to the rescue. She braved the rising waters to save her friend, even sheltering him with her trunk. The baby is part of the Save the Elephant Foundation that has rescued more than 70 elephants and houses them in a natural habitat park. A police officer in Virginia is showing kids how to get into formation. Officer Duante Diggs is caught on camera showing off his Beyonce moves at a high school pep rally, dancing to her hit song Formation. They are so flawless, the kids say he could be a backup dancer. And it turns out he's known for his fancy footwork. Diggs was asked to perform by his fiancée, who's a teacher at the school. And when he's not dancing, he's also a motivational speaker, tackling issues like race, sexuality, and diversity in his community. He has found a way to connect to them, hasn't he? Still to come in your Suncoast News, some not so great news for retirees, how much money you can expect in your Social Security check next year and why it's not more.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called three-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Dottoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPV.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, you'll always get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2017 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.